Thursday, July 18th, 2019. Strong incoming on balance volume, a break of the 1-2-3 bottom formation, a break of the parallel trend line down, and a cross of the exponential moving average on the 1 hour time frame. This is the conversion and the turnaround we've been looking for on the 24 hours of Bitcoin. I invite you to pause the video and read through the disclaimer because this is just market observation, not trading advice. So as we jump in here, I'm going to go through our indicator set again. We did it this morning and I'll go through what the changes are. The RSI on the weekly view has ticked up and we can just see it change now as we're watching it, as power is coming in. Zoom into the daily and I was looking for a divergence here, a strengthening divergence in the RSI, and I still don't see it here, even though we've had that price move, and we'll zoom in and we'll see it here in a second. Very strong candle here on the 12 hour. So the RSI, we still have lower lows in the RSI, and I'm kind of still incredulous. It's not until we get into the very close time frame, these last two moves here, that we actually start to see the divergence. And so as prices are coming down on this parallel trend line, this becomes, high maintenance time to be watching the chart. As it's coming through there, let me draw that again. As that parallel trend line is coming to the top or the bottom, it's high maintenance time. So as we came down to the bottom and we're coming up, it looked like it was going to slinky down. Sure enough, it did break down lower, but it was during that time that we saw the divergence start to develop, that the RSI started to diverge and show some strength. Now I want to see that this is turning out in our other indicators, because it's important to have your plans ahead of time for what are you going to do when a 1-2-3 bottom formation shapes up. It breaks across the number 2 point. The exponential moving averages cross over in your time frame of choice. These are the moments that you're watching for and watching for and watching for to take action on. The thing is to be there, present for it. Now let's go into the on balance volume and check this out, because this is important what happened just today. As we're zooming in on the daily chart, still like it's less volume as we're coming in here. It's still not as much as I expected it to see on this right hand shoulder. Zooming into the 3-month view, lower here. So we've got some a little sputtler of movement there, but let's see if it's got any juice to follow through. This is where it gets to be interesting. On the 4 hour time frame, this is an important set of volume that we haven't seen except for this blow off top over here. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. And again, this is an important, do a horizontal line and cut this off so that we can see that this volume right now as we're coming in was significant and could really represent the bottom that we've been seeing right here. That's a pretty solid refusal of going lower and bounce higher from there. So what I'm anticipating now is that we have this come back maybe and retest these levels to strengthen up this 1-2-3 and take off. If it doesn't and it pokes above these levels, then I want to see it stabilize and then give us that signal. But the retest somewhere along these levels has got to play out here, and this is what I'll be looking for one way or the other. And as it consolidates on either one of these, we'll check out our indicators to see if they're giving us divergences one way or the other we can sink our teeth into. Let's go into the MACD indicator. This is a favorite of mine. As I've been watching this fade off, I've been expecting that there's going to be more downside. It still looks like that to me. This is a little bit looking like more downside as well, except that we have the exhaustion of this histogram. It's come up to the peak and it's exhausted come back one candle. That is generally a turnaround spot. So we'll have to watch that now. This is the 1 day time frame. Let's go to the 12 hour time frame. I did notice this morning where the histograms were easing back on this, and it took a very strong move now and a bend in these averages. I was also watching for the exponential moving averages to cross over on the 12 hour time frame as an exit signal. As prices were to have come down here, that certainly would have made this exponential moving average cross over. So really saved itself at the last minute here. Zoom into the 4 hour time frame. Again, I'm looking for these divergences, and really not seeing what I'm hunting for. We got the lower lows. We've got the lower lows here. It's not until we get into the 1 hour time frame that it actually starts to show these divergences. And it's only through this 1, 2, 3 bottom. So this was something you really unexpected that came in and fast. You had to have your plan ready in advance and be watching for it to take off from here. So now when we're looking at this, the histogram has topped out and is fading back a couple points on the 1 hour time frame. Just want to record that and pay attention to it as it's unfolding. The 15-minute bar, because this really did catch me unexpected, this wad of volume to come in like this, but now it's really changed the game just that fast. Everything has to be reevaluated. It's broken out of that downtrend line, made the 1, 2, 3, broke out of it, showing strength that hasn't come back to retest this number 2 point, which would be an alternate entry on any of the 1, 2, 3s as we're talking about them. There's always the lowest price. It comes up, it tries to go lower, but fails. And as it breaks above that is one of our potential buy signals. It's so often a fake out breakout and then an immediate drawback that this is turned into a higher risk entry. And another way to enter is to wait for the prices to come back and retest these levels. And on strength, you could enter on the market because it's proven that it's not fake out breakout that's going down further. So we always review those things as the markets are showing us the spot too. Now the Ichimoku Cloud, just to continue to record everything. Let's go back to that weekly view. There is no twist to the negative. The conversion line is well above the baseline, all good there. Here on the daily view, the conversion line crossed below the baseline. We are touching into the cloud so that if things turn around now and the conversion line crosses back over the baseline, that is a buy signal in an uptrend, but not yet. It hasn't manifested yet. Let's go into the 12-hour and see if it's turned out there. It's still down below the cloud. We still have the twisted to the negative. It's coming up to be, if it's easing off from here, this is a sell signal in a downtrend in the Ichimoku Cloud on the 12-hour time frame. So we'll watch for it to consolidate here. And if it does ease off, this could be a secondary short position. 12-hour time frame. Let's zoom in to the 4-hour. Not looking bullish, that's for sure. It's still underneath the cloud, and it's a heavy, thick cloud. The conversion line hasn't crossed above the baseline to say that we've got a turnaround here in the 4-hour time frame. Not yet. 1-hour time frame has gone through the cloud. It's twisted positive. The conversion line is right on the baseline, it looks like. So even though we've got this pretty strong bounce and this volume to really support this 1, 2, 3 that could make it solid, it just seems like it's like puffed up there and it's sort of floating but not got the volume to keep it roaring right now. So it does feel like it'll pull back before testing and going higher from what we see. Let's check out the Bitcoin dominance just to go through the routine. It is up at a peak for the last month, making a top formation. It's broken out of this ascending wedge triangle to the negative. So I'm watching for it to continue the top formation and weaken off more. But we've got a clear place that if it goes above 67, alts are in trouble. Here we have the Bitcoin longs versus the Bitcoin shorts for the year since December 2019 all the way through. So the longs haven't really gotten out of hand and the shorts are still at historical lows for this time period. And I don't, we'll have to see how this plays out over time. This is something I'm new to watching on a daily basis. And if you've got any pointers and tips on these longs versus closed, leave them in the comments down below. I'd be keen to hear it. I still haven't switched this chart over. It's telling us all US dollar value. And I want to see Bitcoin versus these coins to see what Bitcoin is doing to them, crushing them or not. I'll change that for the next run. Here is our combination chart so that we can see the crossover. We can see the positive here. We see the RSI has turned positive. All of this here just in the last 24 hours that we saw this turnaround, and it was all initiating right after I did the stream this morning. We had a bit of a dip back and bam, off it went. So you've got to have your trading plan ready in advance. And I've been making this analogy a couple different times in the past week or two. Somebody asked me about the alerts program that we have. It sort of evolved from the Patreon Bull Market Watch, where we made this color-coded list of all of the coins so that we could see things that are gray are neutral, things that are yellow are a potential buy, a buy signal could be coming up. This is like an alert, get ready, our signal is almost there. We can sort of see our signal a long ways away. And a guy was talking about doing some of these trades. He says, if some of these alerts work out and I make some profit, then maybe I'll take your course and learn the lessons. And I said, well, it's kind of like being a pilot. You say, I'll get in the plane and I'll try out flying. And if it works out well for me the first time, maybe I'll go and take pilot school. It's usually backwards. You need to know how to land before you take off the plane. And you need to know how to practice everything that could go wrong in a landing before you take off in the plane. So it's much the same as getting into a trade. You need to know, what are you going to do if it goes against you? If you're doing a short trade on this, what are you going to do when everything happens in the market? And you've got to practice that over and over again, sort of why I do this stream. And then when it becomes a habit, you reflexively do it. When your trading signal comes up, you just do it because you've got such a belief in it. You just act on it without even, a worry. If the cupboard door is open, you close it so that nobody hits their head. It's something habitual that you don't think about after you've practiced it over and over and over again. So that wraps it up for this stream. Tomorrow, we'll tune in and see how these indicators have turned out after all of this. Are we just going to keep going higher? What's that going to do to our indicators? There was no news in the indicators all the way down here. It was only this last little bit from my own part that I could see that turnaround. So you had to expect that in advance if you were going to be ready for that. That was a crazy one. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't already, come and join us on Discord, because we do updates throughout the day as those chart patterns are unfolding. We are observing them, we are commenting on them, and trading decisions are made in those moments. Something that I can't do in these live streams. I want to keep this short, specific, so that we come back onto a specific day and re-watch it and say, what happened on that day? What were the indicators saying? Why did this switch so fast? We have the video from just before and just after. Same as on July 10th, we have a video from just before this break and just after the break, so that we can see what are the indicators building up to before these top formations, before these bottom formations. And now we've got some real good information as another case study that proves out what happens with these indicators as a 1, 2, 3 top formation unfolds. The exponential moving average crosses over. You know the picture. That's it for today. I appreciate it again, and good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. Cheers. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, you may also enjoy my newsletter. Begin by downloading the most important trading strategy we teach, and then once a week I send out an inspiring email about making your money work for you by micro-trading cryptocurrencies. You can sign up for that over at digitalcurrencytraders.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.